Well, we have a cost of living crisis going on in the UK at the moment, and yesterday there were reports of possible power cuts if certain conditions were met. Now, it must be worth noting that this was the worst case scenario, and the chances of all the conditions being met are probably fairly slim, but it was worrying some people. So I thought I'd show you what I do in the winter to help save pennies. In fact, some of these I do all the year round, but especially valid in the winter. First thing I do is I wear fingerless gloves. These are slightly longer in the fingers than most, but they still allow me to do fine work and help keep my hands warm. The second thing I do is I save up my corrugated cardboard. Corrugated cardboard has the air gaps between, as you can probably just about see, and it's the air gap that provides insulation. And what I do is I tape cardboard up on the windows where I don't mind the rooms being kept dark for the winter. So I tend to use this in my bathroom and my kitchen and my porch area. Along the same vein, bubble wrap, but I use bubble wrap with windows that I want to keep light coming through, so sitting room, bedroom, that type of place. I prefer, you can tape them up with something like duct tape. My personal favourite is painter's masking tape because it peels away easily, as well as being damp resistant, because in places like bathrooms and kitchens you can quite often get condensation from cooking and showers and stuff. Now drafts are your big danger or biggest challenge in the winter, so anything you can do to reduce drafts is a good thing. If you have any drafts around kitchen and around windows and doors, you could use this. Now, this wasn't around when I was a child, so what did we use? Well, scrunched up newspaper. And then either cardboard taped up against the area using sellotape, but sellotape isn't particularly good because it isn't particularly long lasting, but either cardboard or cling film or kitchen foil was used to then block off the gap. You could go to charity shops, find curtains and use those, hang those up from on the inside of outside doors. You could see about getting draft excluders. Anything along those lines will help keep heat inside your home and reduce your heating costs and heating methods. Now, you could go this route to help keep you warm. Personally, I only use these for my arthritis because they're single use and they've got a shelf life, but they are useful for taking if I go away somewhere, because as you can see they take up virtually no room. But my preferred way of keeping warm is this rechargeable hand warmer. It's got a low, medium and a high setting. It's a 10 milliamp hour battery, and it also doubles up as a battery bank as well. So and it will also charge off my small solar system. This is just one part of my small solar system. I've had this about 9 months now and I've been very pleased with it. You could also consider getting a hot water bottle. Again, something that tends to be forgotten these days, but it works. The other thing that I can use my solar panel for is recharging batteries. I tend to keep all my items using AAA or AA batteries. That way I'm not having a huge amount of different batteries in storage and having to buy all different kinds. So try and keep the type of batteries you use down to a minimum. I also keep a few ordinary batteries as well for times when perhaps my solar system isn't producing quite enough power for everything. So these days you can pick up batteries that have got a very good shelf life. I'm just trying to think what the shelf life is on these. I can't see it off the top of my head, but I do know I think it was an 8-year shelf life on these when I purchased them. So consider keeping a good store of ordinary batteries. Now this is a little shed light, and I've had this about 5 years now, and I've used it every night as my bedside table lamp. It came with its own small solar panel, but this one is slightly larger than the one this came with. I think the one this came with was only a 5 or 7 watt. And when I purchased this was considered the bee's knees at 14 watts. But these days, if you've got a big enough window, you could put a 60, 100 watt, 120 watt solar panel inside your window. Now, if you just put a solar panel inside a window, you are going to get reduced efficiency, but it does save you having to worry about wiring up various elements to the system. And the beauty about this light is because it is just got a micro USB plug charger. I can place the solar panel wherever I want. I have kept the solar panel this came with, but like I said, it's a very low wattage, so I don't tend to use it. Now the other things I use for my light system, first item I use is this little O-Light O-bulb. Now you've got a low light that I think lasts for 30 hours, a high light which lasts I think for 3 hours, and I forget what the red does, the timing on the red is. I'm just going to move this because it's on a flashing red mode next, and I know that can set off some people's epilepsy. Now it's got a magnetic base. It came with a magnetic sticker, and also you can get a magnetic hook so you can hang it from some places, but I just hung it on my kitchen fridge, and if I'm just popping into my kitchen very quickly for, say, make a cup of tea or a cup of coffee or just grab something quickly, I use this rather than the main light. This is another rechargeable. I think you're getting the theme here. Lots of rechargeable items. This one has removable and so replaceable batteries. But if for any reason those fail, you can also use AA batteries. And like most camping lights of this type, you just pull it up and it will automatically turn on. It has high and low, and it will also turn on and off just by pulling it up and down. There are other models available, but this is the one I chose, and I've been very pleased with it. Another good item to have in your home is a head torch. High, medium, and again flashing mode. I don't want that to set anybody off. It also has red light and again red flashing mode. It's micro USB, like most of my rechargeable items. And the beauty about headlamps is you freeze up both hands, and you can angle it slightly to alter the beam, where the beam lands, so it's quite useful for power cuts, or if you're just popping from if I'm just popping from one room to the other and I don't want to trip over my black cat, then I will use this. And then the other option you can buy are solar charged lights. This is a Goal Zero one. These are quite expensive, and I wasn't too sure about it to start with, but actually, as you can see, it folds up quite neatly, and it has 3 different settings, and I tend to use it on the medium setting, and it seems to last quite a long time on the medium setting. But again, during the daytime I make sure it's somewhere where there is light coming through, so it gets a boost. And because it has its own hook, you can either hook it up or you can leave it just standing. The choice is yours. So, last but not least, I do believe, is my homemade cheap little oil lamp. As with all naked flames, please take care. Please take precautions. If you have things like fire extinguishers, fire blankets, make sure they're to hand. If you've got children, please make sure that they're aware of the dangers and keep them away from the flames. Same with pets. In all the years that we used naked flames, we never had an accident. However, I have seen the result of somebody being careless in a caravan that exploded when I was a child, and unfortunately the dog that the person owned did not survive. The person luckily did, but it was a fairly terrifying moment when you see people you love rushing towards an exploding caravan to get somebody out. So I'm very aware of how dangerous naked flames could be, which is why I have increased my dependence on rechargeable or solar powered items. They're obviously much safer. So if you can afford to go that route, please do. Especially, like I said, if you have children, it is a much safer way to go. I will be putting out a video at some point with my firefighting, the stuff I have for fighting fires. It's only a small amount of stuff, but again, I think it's worth noting if people are tempted to use candles and oil type lamps in the future. So on that cautious note, hopefully everyone stays warm this winter. Hopefully the weather cooperates. Hopefully Russia cooperates, kind of, and it doesn't come to fruition. But hopefully these items have given you a few ideas of what you might be able to do to help reduce your costs within the home. So if you liked it, please consider subscribing, giving it a thumbs up and sharing. Thanks for that, and I'll see you next time. Bye.